If anyone has any prayer requests, you can put it in the comment section and I'll pray over them. This message is on the Ark of the Covenant, sometimes referred to as the Ark of the Lord or the Ark of the Testimony. Exodus chapter 25. Verse 8. And let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof. Even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half, which 2 cubits and a half is 3 feet 9 inches. Shall be the length thereof, and the cubit and a half the height thereof. A cubit and a half is 2 feet and 3 inches. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold within and without shalt thou overlay it, and shall make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof, and 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. By the way, I'm going to put a picture where they tried to recreate the Ark of the Covenant in the comment section. Verse 13. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee. I'm going to stop right there for a minute. There was 3 things that was put in the ark. There was a pot of manna, there was the 10 commandments, and there was Aaron's rod that was put inside the Ark of the Covenant. Verse 17. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, which 2 cubits and a half was 3 feet and 9 inches. And a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, which a cubit and a half was 2 feet and 3 inches. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold, of beaten work shalt thou make them, and the two ends of the mercy seat. Okay, you know in the Bible where it talks about under the shadow of God's wings. It's not that God actually has wings, but it's in reference to these two cherubims in the ark. Which God wouldn't have a shadow either because He's all light. If you look in Psalm chapter 36, Psalm chapter 36, verse 7. How excellent is thy loving kindness, O God! Therefore the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. Psalm 91. See, they had a veil that was in between the inner court, or the holy place as it's also called, and the Holy of Holies. And the Ark of the Covenant was in the Holy of Holies. But then when the light shined on the ark, the shadow would reflect on the other side of that curtain. And that's what it's referring to, under the shadow of His wings. Which when God would speak, He would speak out of the Ark of the Covenant. Back in the Old Testament, that's where God stayed. Psalm chapter 91, starting at verse 1. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the nuisance pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Back to Exodus 25. verse 19. And make one cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on the two ends thereof. And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubims, which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel. Now, there was a lot of miracles done through the ark. God used that ark to do many miracles. God would speak to people through that ark back in the Old Testament. But today, the ark is no longer needed, because now God lives within us. Now God's glory should reflect through us, just as He did the ark.